Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And we get back into War in the East too. We hover over Odessa. Romanian engineers have breached the city fortress, and we sit ensconced upon the throne of Odessa. We have taken the town. Man, I was glad to take that. I was a little concerned about it. I didn't, we didn't have the full complement that I wanted in there. Now, our dang generals in the 11th didn't even use the Flammen Panzers, the fire breathers, the Hades bringers, which usually you really kind of need those in the big urban areas because they've got like 30 combat value in an urban area. Gosh, those things are crazy. But anyway, we have now taken Odessa. I could have entitled this now what? No, I've got a few ideas. We'll see. I entitled it The Rainy North because we do know it will be raining and raining heavily as we get back to the north. But we've got a few things to take care of first. Just a few general things. I did want to say, first of all, thank you to everyone for the support. This channel has gone already above my wildest imaginations in under 6 months. Our 6 month anniversary will be May 13th. I think we had 101 people sign up yesterday or subscribe on YouTube. I haven't really focused on Twitch, but I look over there every once in a while, and I don't know, we got 300 or 400 on Twitch. You would think strategy games not really a Twitch thing yet. Maybe we'll make it a Twitch thing where everybody's like, Twitch. I came here to see first-person shooters, and all I've got are Gary Grigsby games on Twitch. What's going on? Well, maybe not. Maybe we won't take it quite that far. But thank you. It's much appreciated. I hope that you enjoyed the channel. That's what it's all about. Believe me, it's honestly. When I started the channel, I did it because I want other people to enjoy these games that I love, and I find that there was a high barrier of entry to some people because they just said, well, I don't know, I don't want to read a 300 or 400 page rule book. I do that at work all day, or I've got kids, I don't have time for that. But maybe you can sit around and watch an hour video here or hour there and enjoy these great games. So anyway, that's the whole point of the channel. I just want to thank you all. Speaking of which, March 11th, Slitherine has asked us to be part of their, I don't know, Slitherine and Matrix Day or something, which, that's great. They're going to highlight their upcoming games, including Distant Worlds 2, which I will play a lot here. I know I've only been playing war games essentially, but I love space games as well. And Distant Worlds Universe is one of my favorite games of all time. The sequel will be coming out. I mean, I anticipate that. Not quite as much as War in the East 2, which we have before us here, but Distant Worlds 2 is right up there. Distant Worlds Universe might be the best 4X game ever made. And you say, wait a minute, come on now. It might be. Give it a shot. I know the graphics aren't great, but if you're watching this channel, we're not playing for the graphics. I like nice graphics, don't get me wrong, but for good strategy games, hey, what's up, Johnny? Is it Johnny or Yanni? I think it's Y, right? A J is a Y. I know we figured this out last time. So anyway, this Matrix Slytherin thing will be a live stream talking about their games that they've already announced, and then I guess they'll announce maybe a couple of new games that are in development that haven't been revealed before. I was like, okay, sure. I mean, I play a lot of their games. They're always really cool with me, and they've given us some games early, like Warplane Pacific and this game, and so I was like, sure, I'll simulcast your stream. But then they said they'll also give you guys some free games. Now, they call them classic Matrix Slytherin games. So I don't think we're going to get like anything, that's just dropping. Let's put it that way. So if there are any old Matrix Slytherin games that you guys want, drop them in the comments because I think that I can, twist their arm a little bit and get you guys, I don't know how many they'll give us. I don't know how many keys they'll give us or downloads. I don't know even how they're going to do it exactly. But they will have some of the subs here, some of the members of the channel. They'll give you a free game. Okay. I was like, sure. I don't know. I don't even didn't even know if I'd be live streaming during that time. So, why not? It's a good company. They're good people. I can tell you that. And they love this genre and they love the hobby. So, I try to support them in any way I can. Um, that brings up one final thing before we jump into the game, and that is the passing of John Tiller. I just did want to mention it again. I mentioned it on the Warplan Pacific video that I was doing when I heard the news. Um, look, I didn't know John Tiller, so I'm not going to go on this soliloquy about, what an amazing man he was or something. I didn't know him. I will say this, that man gave me thousands of hours of enjoyment, and I will always appreciate him for that. Everything I've read said he was a very, very good guy too. Again, I didn't know him personally, but um, if you look at the Mount Rushmore of computer wargaming, it's Gary Grigsby and John Tiller. They're the first two faces that would appear on that Mount Rushmore. Now, it was very sad. I think John Tiller was in his 60s, and he found out he had brain cancer like at Christmas time. And it just happened this fast, I mean, it just goes to show you we've all got our expiration date. You just never know. You never know. He's a very successful man. Obviously, was doing what he loved and what had a passion for, and was taken pretty early. Pretty early. So in his 60s, I start to look at my odometer, and I'm like, man, 60 is not that far away. So those kind of always get you as you get older. Like, wait, how old was he? But anyway, rest in peace to John Tiller, one of the true greats of this hobby and this genre. Godspeed, Godspeed. All right. Um, let's get down to business here in War in the East 2 with all that stuff under our belt. Do we have any movement points down here by Odessa? I'm going to go around and look at our units. I'm going to do kind of the end of turn stuff that I always do. I was thinking about doing that before the episode. You guys have all seen it before. That being said, I've been recording everything I do in this game, and I don't want to like leave anything out. Maybe somebody's tuning in for the first time and they're like, "Oh, what do you do at the end of a turn, or how do you make sure you've done everything that you want to do, etc." So I'm going to do it again this time. Basically, I just go around making sure there's not movement points that I'd like to spend. I click on these, and then you'll see me click on them and then like pull out here. That's just to see if they could move or attack again. I don't think I'm going to do any. I mean, I think we've looked over. I always try to look over them before we leave kind of a theater or area on the map. I try to, go over here and make sure that there's nothing left. I don't think there should be, but we will go. Can I move this guy? I could move him over there. Just stuff like that. Then we're going to go look at the commander's report. We'll see if anything is out of command. We also need to do our transports. So our freight transports, the air freight transports, those always come last. And then we'll also look at the depots very quickly. I think we've got the depots pretty much set up the way I want them. Oh, I was going to also do some of this stuff, and then I started making that War in the West video. If you're still somewhat confused about support units, I just did like an hour-long video about support units in War in the West. Obviously, it's very applicable to what we do in War in the East 2 or the original War in the East. The only difference here in War in the East 2 is we have to think about combat prep points. So, just keep that in mind. But it's like an hour-long refresher on support units and how they work. TAC. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for cheering me on to Sevastopol. I do appreciate that. We've got the Germans goose stepping at max speed in the south. I am going to try to get down and get that fortress. That's 30 points. Plus, you're always going to get the bonus if you get it in, before mid 1942. You will get that bonus. Stanley says that John Tiller was 67. Okay, well nowadays that is early. That is early, right? With all of the medical advances we have. But I guess it was brain cancer, and that's a tough one, and went downhill evidently very quickly. Very sad. Oh, there is a rail. Thank you. Thank you, Yana. Yes, I had noticed that before. We had not moved this rail unit, and you bring that up. I'm so glad you said that again because I meant to make a note of that when we came back this time. Because after we logged off last time, I always just kind of go look around the map and say, what am I going to do next time? Where are we in the game, etc. And I had forgotten to move this rail unit. This is why I always try to move them first when I get to a theater of operations, because you cannot afford to miss one of these. So this one, I am going to keep it coming east. I was tempted. The only question is, do I go up here and go to Zytomir very quickly and then come back down? I think I will. We might as well hook Zytomir up to this for the short term. Now, Zytomir eventually, it's not going to really matter. I mean, everything will be coming out of Kiev. But yes, thank you for reminding me of that. Excellent work by a corporal down on the ground. Okay. Yeah, we almost got to Zytomir, dang it. That all looks good. Thank you. And then there was something in the panzer groups you mentioned that we hadn't moved yet in the center. And I seem to remember something about that too. Now, I've played about 3 games in between this and the last episode. So let me think about what that was. Was it, it was maybe the headquarters? No, seconds on. Ninth. Do I need to move ninth, maybe? No. What about second Panzer Group? Oh, maybe it was the headquarters. I think we've got a headquarters issue down here, don't we? With second. Well, I'm not sure if it's second headquarters that has the problem. It's the headquarters themselves. Right. Okay. We need to move this up. There we go. There we go. You may have saved me a little bit of grief there, my friend. Um, these guys are up here. Can I move either one of these guys? I don't know. This is just a morass here in the middle, isn't it? But wait until you see what I have planned this time. I have an idea of what we can do here, and it's something that I like to do. You'll see what it is. You'll see what it is when I do it. It's a trick I like to play when I play another human. Um, you could, well, I don't want to call it a trick. I think it's a good idea, but it is kind of using the game to its maximum effect. All right, I'm going to go back to the comments and see if you've mentioned because the one and the Panzer groups in the center. Okay, I think that headquarters is what we needed to move. We still have this Panzer division with a few points. Can he get any further? I don't think so. This was the, rest in peace, the lost 57. That's okay. That's okay. We'll recover. Just looking around here. I'm just making sure I just moved him down a little bit, make sure there's not any kind of gap there. I don't want any gaps. Now I've got a gap there, but I'm hoping that they won't come in there and fill that in any way. We still do have movement points out here, but we don't have any good place to move or attack. This scared me off. I would probably No, I actually wouldn't probably because this is, you're going into woods here with the panzers. So I just think I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave all of this alone. Let's go look at the commander's report very quickly and we'll do our sort here and see what's negative and see what else might be out of command. This is more than I thought it would be. Hmm. We got to get support units off here. That's for one thing. We got to get air bases out. We got to get support units off. There we go. There we go. That lessens the load a little bit. Um, wow, we've actually got quite a few things here, more than I would have suspected. Okay, well, let's go look at them and figure out what's going on. This Romanian brigade can now move. Huh. Okay, well, that's part of the reason I do this. It's now active. It is activated. Let's bring it. Well, shoot, we may as well rail it from back here if we can. I don't think that's taking up any important rail. So we've got another Romanian cavalry unit that is now active. Okay, and so I just took him as far as I could. He'll get off the train next time. That's fine. Okay, well, that's fun. Why is the? Oh, this is that unit that we're hanging back here. So this is Modal's group up here. Now, this is Wadrig, is the general, but we've got them back here. I just had this clear out the islands, so I split out this into 3 regiments, and I just had it come back here, take this port. You will see, if we go to the interdiction, we've talked about this before. Um, I think that next turn, this interdiction will be gone because there's automatically a +1 interdiction for whoever holds the port. And so I think that will be gone. This will all be German, Alemunia, right? Let's hope. Commander's report. Okay, so he's back there. That's fine. He was a -8. First Hungarian Mountain Brigade. Oh, right. Okay, so we got these guys moving out there. That's fine. Who's a 7? Fourth Romanian Mountain Brigade. They're trying to catch up after trying to clear out all this nonsense. Oh, this headquarters. Where do I want to take him? I guess I want him to go this way eventually, but we'll get back to him. Not a biggie there. 183rd Infantry Division, who's part of 11th Army. Oh, this is that reinforcement group that's coming up. Okay, so they just haven't caught up with us. This also helps you kind of get a feel for all of your forces and whatnot. Um, this Romanian group, I kind of want to put this infantry. Do we have any space? Well, it's Romanian though. Um, Eventually, I'll put him with another Romanian unit if I can. How's 4th Romanian? No, he's got enough. 2 of 9. 11th. I'll put him in the 11th Romanian. How about that? Because he doesn't need to be with all these mobile units. Gosh, now I've just totally forgot what I just said. What is it? 3rd? Nope, that's not what I clicked on before. Is it Mountain Romanian? No. Is it 3rd Romanian? Nope. I swear to God, I just clicked on a Romanian that was 2 of 9. Where the heck did that go? Was it all the way down here? It was 11th. Woo, man, sometimes. Where's 11th? Huh. Interesting. So are they not going to allow us to put it directly in there? Okay, I'm going to put this then in 3rd Romanian Army, and then we'll push them off to somebody else. Okay, that's perfect actually. Now we can push it down to one of his corps or one of the corps that are out here. So that's fine. Okay, 6th Romanian Infantry. Do I have another one out here? No, that was that one. Sorry. Okay. 130 infantry, 183rd. That's the reinforcement. Okay, so I'm going over old stuff here. Romanians, Hungarians, Romania. Okay, we know these are all fine. 2 motorized corps. Why is that out? Oh, It's actually 3 motorized. Ah, I'm glad. Now this is why I like to come back and do this. First Panzer Group needs to move. Let's get this off railroad first of all. Let's go put him in Cherkasy. Okay, so that he's up near the front. I'm glad I saw that. Hey Peter, what's up? I'm glad you guys could drop by. Big Thursday night in Europe, huh? Um, okay, so that looks good. That's fine. That may actually put some other things in command as well. Gosh darn it, we've got a lot of these this time. I try to make sure we hardly have any. Why is 52nd Corps out? Well, that's because 17th Army has to move up as well. Man, oh man, oh man. Is this going to hurt? This is really going to hurt our. I'm going to put him here in Uman. Now, luckily, I've mentioned this before, but this is a could be a big depot, but I mean it can handle 20,000 in freight without a headquarters even sitting on it. I don't think we've had a depot in the game get 20,000 freight yet. So this whole advantage of sitting the headquarters there, I mean, I'm still going to do it. I just don't know that, again, I think they're going to have to dial back how big the depots are. It's making things a little too easy logistically, I think. That's just, that's me yapping my gums. Hungarians, Romanians, how about the 134th Infantry? Why are you out of command? Well, because your headquarters needs to move up. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so he needed to move up. Glad I knew that. All right. 256. Okay, that's another one way up at the top. We know he's out. Is that right? Is it the same one? No, no. Oh, this is part of the Corps in 6th Army. He's the one that's kind of going up here and making sure none of those swamp rats come out of the Pripyat marshes. He's doing God's work up there. L Corps. I know it's not L Corps. 50th Corps. 50th Corps. Don't get mad at me and write it in the comments. Okay, so that's Lindemann. Is it time to bring 18th Army around here to Pskov as well? Maybe, but that would put Modal out, I think, out of command. I guess I can move him a few hexes. I mean, again, the depot goes down, but I think it was at yeah, I mean, it's still at 35,000 capacity. We only received 6,000 tons of freight here last time, and it supplied the whole north. So again, if it's 35,000 or it's 60,000, it's way over what you need. So I don't think it's a huge deal. Okay, Mountain Romanian. I got a bunch of Romanians out here that are a little too far away. Germans, where are you? Okay, that's going to about do it. I will go look at 7th Romanian. I was just curious because that's a full core. Okay, that's all of that. We've done all of that. Now, let's do our F9 drops. Just like to say, I don't even think it's funny. I don't even think it's funny myself, but I say it anyway. We're FD. Never mind. Never mind. I'm just going to stop right there. Um, Nicholas says maybe logistics will get harder with mud in the winter. Yeah, I mean it will. It will. You're right about that. You're absolutely right. Um, the problem I'm seeing though is that regardless of whether there's mud or winter, which will make it a lot more challenging getting freight to places, what I'm talking about more is the capacity of these depots. From what I can tell, you really only need to have one big depot in each theater. I I don't know, and I'm just talking about depot capacity. I'm not talking about how hard it is to get it out to the units or things like that. Now, I understand why you would want to do a little bit more than just one big depot because you want it to be as close to your units as possible. So whatever kind of the biggest rail yard you have in the area that's attached to the rail network is where you want to have kind of your big depot. And then you can have some secondary ones like in the north as well. And we're going to go look at this in a second. Um, Michael says, I'm not sure, but did you notice there's another active division in the south in Romania? What? In Romania? We got the Italians. Here they come. Okay, let's get off of F9. It's the first thing I need to do. Is there one back here? I guess I should go look at movement points, but sometimes that always... Here? No. Is it back here? No. Yeah, sometimes I hate that. Sometimes I wish I could light them up somehow, like, oh, you're new and you haven't moved yet. You'll have to tell me where it is. If I'm just not seeing it for some reason, but that doesn't mean it does not exist. We did, if you just tuned in, we did rail this one up, because it was out of command range. But if you're talking about another one, let me know that. Um, okay, we'll talk about logistics in a second. Let's send out. I think I need to get as much in here as I can, because I think these are the guys that are the furthest away from any kind of depot that can get them freight. The guys in the center, at least they have Vitebsk, that's getting some freight. They're getting some out of Orsha. You know, they've got a little better situation. In the north, we're fine on freight. I'm not worried about that. But I am worried about these guys out here. So let's try to. Can we go? Yeah, we can come into. Now they're coming out of Rovno. Oh, that's actually perfect. So I put the the one that's in Luftflotte 4. I think that's based here, and the one that's in Luftflotte 2 is based here. The transport groups are here and here, here and here. Um, and they're staging at Rovno, picking up the freight there and taking it here. That's perfect. So now, if you've got an airfield here, you can use it. And even if you don't have a depot, the game will give you an automatic like level 1 depot out here, all right? And so they can take it by truck out to this stuff. So I try to get it as close as I can. Now, just to be safe, we could go to Cherkasy, but really, it's what are you doing? You're just putting extra miles. We don't even, I don't think. Anyway, let's just do it here. Launch, multiple missions. Okay. So we'll put some freight in here, 120 tons. Now, if you're thinking, well, how many tons does a unit usually use? Divisions seem to use what, about like 170 tons? I don't know. We'll go look at a Panzer division and see exactly how many tons of everything it uses. Because now, I mean, that doesn't have to turn that into fuel, right? So let's go back to F1 and let's just look at this Panzer division and we'll look at its supply details. So last time, freight received. Well, I guess it's more like 250 here. Now it didn't get everything it needed, so let's maybe call it 300, right? Uh, so this got like 254. It had a lot that was lost out of Barlad. What's going on in Barlad? Man, they're skimming a lot off the top. Freight lost 142. Oof. That's just because we're too far away, and those trucks have to come across, the Ukraine and try to get us stuff. So we're only getting about half. So I guess maybe it's even more than that. So maybe we'll call it 500 in unit. We're still looking okay. We're only 62% on fuel. To be at 100%, we'd be at 342. We're at 213. We received 254 freight. We lost 153. My God, we were low on vehicles. 37 movement points away from Barlad. Well, we're even further away now. That's for sure. Received supply. It turned it into 74 supplies, 170 fuel. We had to use 159 vehicles from the pool. Okay. So really, I guess to be fully stocked, what are we talking, like 400 or 500 tons? It's a little bit more than I thought, to be honest. Now, we can't do another one here, can we? Or maybe we can, he says. We're going through Rovno again. Let's launch those out. Now, it is nice in the old game. If you ever just 50 kilometers over Bucharest. Okay, okay. Got it. Got it. I will go look for that. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. You all get promotions. You all get promotions. For now. For now. We'll see what happens. We'll see your one lost record. Let's keep, trying to let's jam some into Cherkasy too if we can. Launch it. So hopefully this helps a little bit. Look, honestly, these guys are just going to be low on fuel. I mean, they've come, how many kilometers have they come just in the last 2 or 3 turns? So, they're going to be low on fuel. We just got to do what we can to manage that a little bit. No, transport freight. Why is it? Yeah, okay. So we're done down here. Whoops. Let's go up to the center. Maybe we could drop something. We'll try to drop something on Vitebsk, maybe? Or do we do Smolensk? Let's do Smolensk if we can. Nope, we can't get anything in there. Okay, well, I guess we could try to help these guys out. Can we drop one on Novgorod? Nope, can't do that either. All right, so we've used up everything that we can to do freight. You can use level bombers. You can see here LB, LB. If you get desperate, you could do that, but there's big penalties for using level bombers. I would say just always use just your transport planes, and the game now warns you. Like you have to go manually select the level bombers. For the transports, you don't. Now, if we look down here, why are these Ju-52s not flying? What's going on? I want to know who they are and what they're up to. It's in Transport Group North. Okay. Why aren't you flying? Well, they do have a range of 51, it says. All right, so let's try to get something into Pskov. Can we do that? Yeah, now we can get some up there. Okay, and it's those two that I saw. The level bombers, we don't want those. We want the TRs, the transports. Oh, I guess they only have a range of 40. That's why they can't get all the way to Novgorod, but they can get into Pskov. We might as well. I mean, we can't get any more into the south, so you know, may as well do as much of this as you can. Your transport planes, you get those miles every time. It's not like it's going to hurt us to lose freight out of Königsberg. Königsberg's well supplied, at least for now. Get back to 1945 and, you don't want to have your pet dog running around. I don't mean to make a joke out of that. I mean, they were starving. So, but for now, I mean, we've got all the freight that we want. So, let's use let's use this. Now see that would be the level bombers. So we've used our transport. They've all got 100% down here for Ju-52 3Ms. Those are your transport planes. So that does that. Um, we want to do depots. I'm going to go find this unit by Bucharest. Sorry. If I can find. Oh, Bucharest is down here. There we go. Got it. Okay. Oh, you mean this big unit with 14 movement points? I just wanted to see if you guys were paying attention. Right? Just making sure you guys were actually watching. Uh sure. Always look out for those for me because I have a tendency to leave one behind. Well, hell, we may as well rail them all the way out here. Odessa will not get freight by rail until next turn. We haven't hooked it up yet, so let's spacebar that. Okay, so we came on the train. Thank you to everyone that mentioned that. I do appreciate it. We need all the Romanians out here we can get. What else? Oh, depots. Okay, so let's look at the rail network. And let's see where our railheads. Now, railheads are not a thing in this game like they were in the last game. It used to be this is where your freight, what's known as freight now, came from, and you would trace it out to the headquarters units. The system's totally different now, right? It goes directly to the units and it doesn't come from the railhead. It comes from the closest depot that has freight. Well, for a depot to get freight, it either has to get it from water, air, or air, rail. Well, I guess it could get it from air, but it gets it from, a port to port by water, um, depot to depot from rail, or it sends trucks. It has to send trucks. And so that's why I'm just desperately trying to get up here to Pskov, because once I get to Pskov and we've got this depot here, it can then freight any of these units within 35 hexes and 75 movement points. Now that some of these hexes eat up a lot of movement points, let me tell you. But once we're in Pskov, we can pretty much freight everything all the way to Leningrad. We will set up some temporary little smaller depots out here once we have the rail hooked up. It looks like major rail runs all the way here. That's not a town. Where does that major? Gosh darn it. Let's take this off. Where's that town? Luga. That's what I was thinking of. The major rail runs through there. Um, a D town of the north, Devinskaya. That sounds nice. So we'll probably like put a depot in Divinskaya or Luga, Novgorod. We'll put depots there. But then we'll be completely well done in the north. We'll have it all hooked up. The north will be great. That's not where our logistics problems come. That's certainly true. Now, we've talked a little bit about depot. Talked a little bit. We've talked a lot about depots. Some people have been asking, why have some of these depots out here? And I know I touched on this last time. You definitely want at least a level 1 depot where you have an airfield that you're using. I say you have, it's not like you have to have that, but it's nice. You might as well. So, like this level 2 airfield here, that's why it's nice to have a level 1 depot once it's hooked up to the rail, because you want it to have some freight. It will help supply fuel the planes. All right. Um, and so that's why you'll have some of these. But the biggest reason you don't want to destroy depots, there's no reason to. And if you do get to 1944 or 1945 and you're on the defensive, you may need them. If you're the Germans and all of a sudden you start getting pushed back from Leningrad and you're just trying to hang on to points and you need supply, freight out here in the middle of the Baltics, and you're like, oh no, the Soviets have taken Riga and I'm like here, you may want to have this or this. There's no reason to destroy them. They're not going to cost you anything. Rather than destroy them, exactly. Try not to. That's a good point, M60. Try not to resupply hexes where there is no airfield. Excellent point. You get a huge, huge penalty in hexes that don't have airfields. Try to go airfield to airfield. Um, but rather than destroying depots, just set them to 0. If you're not using them now, you don't have any reason to use them. Everything will pass through them, but there's no reason to destroy them. And so that's something we probably need to focus on here. Talon, I'm going to keep this as a 3 for now. We've just taken this. We'll see how much freight we get in there. We're using Parnu for literally 3/4 of the freight that we're sending out up here in the north. This is going to be an import port, so both of these are. We're going to have to wait for the interdiction to go down, but no reason not to have that as a 3. That's fine. It would have been nice to have a small depot here or a small one here because we're using the airfields, but we will be moving on soon, and so there's really no reason to build depots out here. Once we get up in here, we may think about building a depot or two, or as the aforementioned Divinskaya, or what was the other one? I always forget the name of that town, and I don't know why, because it's got major rail through it, and I always seem to forget the name of it. All right, let's just trace it. Luga. It's not like it's one of the hard Soviet words. It's Luga. All right, come on, man. So we've got a 4 there. We're almost there. We're almost there. I want to keep this one because we probably will always use this air base. It's close enough to Pskov and Leningrad. Like our bombers can get to Leningrad from here. We may move the recon up there once we move the bombers up. The Lecky Luki, that all looks good. This one is out here because I wanted to draw freight a little bit, but it's not going to draw from a 2 anyway, so it's kind of pointless. So I'm going to crank that down to a 0. No reason to do that, or no reason to have that really. Um, I say that, but it's the furthest north on this line that's attached to the rail. Okay, I talked to my. Now, see, this is what happens. I try to turn them down to 0, and then I say, well, there may be a reason I need that. So let's actually put it on 2, and it maybe can pull from some of these 1s. Now, it won't pull from the 2s. So, it's going to have to come from some of these 1s that are out here. We were using these air bases. I don't think there's any reason to have these as 1s right now. There's just not. This received and sent out everything, but it didn't freight anything. It just sent it on to Riga because this was a 1. Okay, 2 because that Ventspils could potentially get some things by the sea. I don't think there's any reason to have this as a 1 or this one. It's only because there was an airfield there. So we can turn those down to 0. La Paja, a 2. I want these to be 2s because they're import ports. I want them to get stuff from the 1s if they can. Now, we have not been getting stuff here. For some reason, the game, the logistics system, and I get it, it's a 4. But even when it was a 3, and even when we just took it, the game really wants to get stuff up to Parnu. Okay, I think it could be just as easy to send it into Memel and then send it by rail, but okay, maybe not. The game's just not working that way. That's fine. Um, let's turn these down to 0. We're not using the airfields. We don't need them to store anything. Now you can see that they're sending things on, but really they should send things, or rather than it going there and them saying and then sending it on, it may as well just pass right through here to the 1s and the 2s. I will keep Kaunas a 1. I'll keep Vilnius a 2. Minsk is a 2. Mogilev should maybe be a 3. I don't have it all the way hooked to the rail yet. That's part of the problem. Okay, so if it's not hooked to the rail, it's not going to really matter. Orsha's a 4. Vitebsk is a 4. Let's go to Smolensk and build a depot. That seems kind of obvious, right? Um, we'll have it as a 4, but it's not going to get anything this time. Valeki Luki is a 4. Okay, so that all looks good. We'll crank Orsha down once Smolensk is operational. We've got it up and running. Vitebsk and Smolensk will kind of be the main things in the center. If I'm going to be using an airbase this much, I really should have a small depot here. Now, it can get stuff out of Minsk, though, so I'm just going to leave as is. But if you're using these airfields and they're way out there, I mean, you may want to build like a level 1 or, well, probably a level 2 depot there. Brest-Litovsk I have as a 2. It's passing everything on. That's fine. But some of these I can turn down to 0. There's just no reason that they, need to have any freight run. Have I been saying supply again? Gosh darn it. I need to have like a tip jar where every time if I say supply when I mean freight, I got to put $1 in it. We'd all be rich, that's for sure. 1s, okay, that all looks fine. These are all, I mean, there's just no reason to have these doing anything. 0. Kiel may send something out. This is not in the same zone, the same C zone, so these can all be 0s. Bremen can be a 0. Hanover, Bremen, Hanover. I'm thinking about all these German soccer clubs looking around out here. Magdeburg, 0. Okay, I guess really, the West Berlin, I mean, why are these ones? I don't know. They start drawing the freight out a little bit, so that's fine. But some of these back to the southwest, I don't see any reason to have these on anything but zero. All right. This is why I was going to do it before the episode because I know this is must-watch viewing, watching me set depot levels. But I guess we can all learn something from this, right? I keep learning more and more about depots every time. Um, Stanley, I will be in the Pacific tomorrow. I will be. Yeah, okay, we're going to get back into that war in the Pacific. Um, yeah, I do have a bit of a truck shortage, or I will, I assume. Um, and yes, 8. If you ever wonder, 8 will show you where all your supply, or all of your freight, I just did it again. It will show you where all of your freight is coming out of. Um, Vienna, 0. Prague, 0. Dresden. I'll keep these on ones. I'll go back and change them after the episode. I'm not going to make you sit here while I change every damn one of these. Lublin and Chell, sure. I mean, they're sending everything on, so it's not like the biggest deal. You can see here, they receive, they send it. Lvov, that's all fine. I'll do those next. I'll do them next time. We'll get into the center and the south. But what M60 was saying, and I'm sure, you guys have seen me do this numerous times, but let's put the units on. And if you hit the 8 key, you can see exactly where their freight is coming from. Now, some of these up here are obviously going a very long way. And so you will be using up and chewing up trucks because, I mean, think about this truck going from Parnu and coming all the way out here. I mean, that's a heck of a ride. That's not Euro Truck Simulator. That you're trying to dodge Soviet partisans while doing that as well. So we've got to get that rail into Pskov. That will cut down on a lot of it in the north. In the center, this looks all right. Vitebsk, Smolensk. We'll keep moving that line. Keep moving the chains, boys. Orsha, Minsk, hitting Second Army. That's all good. In the south, you're always going to have these incredible distances in the south. It was a problem historically. It's a problem in our game. No shocker there. Okay, but we'll deal with more depot stuff next time. I really want to run the turn. So let's run the turn. Am I forgetting something? Hell, probably. But let's go. Let's get to turn 9. Let's see what happens. Um, yeah, the air part of this now is easy. We're going to take that naval patrol off completely now that we've taken Odessa. That will go off, but Fliegerführer Aussie is moving north. We could start to the west of Leningrad. We could start trying to do some interdiction there. I haven't quite decided on that yet. That's right, Ole. Ole says a depot 4, 3 hexes away from units is a truck-free solution. I always like truck-free solutions, my friend. Uh, Peter says, does anyone know if those 4 or 5 railroad repair units are historically accurate? Well, I don't know if they were quite set up that way, Peter. There were dedicated railroad units. That's all they did. We've talked about it on the channel before, and I don't know if this is exactly what you're asking, but Soviet rail and German rail were different, and so they basically had to rebuild an entire new rail system. Also, I guess the Soviets used wood for their base. And once it became muddy, that wood would shift. Whereas the Germans use steel as their base or concrete in some cases. And so they essentially the Germans had to completely rebuild the entire Soviet rail system over thousands of miles. It was really something. Let's see where the Soviets try to break through here. But yeah, I don't. That probably was their command structure. There was something called FBD4 because this game is so historically accurate for the most part. Oh, wow. I'm going to move my head. Look how many planes the Soviets are losing here running. I would imagine they're trying to run. Oh, I can't click on that. I would imagine they're trying to run. Yeah, air superiority. I guess I can click on it. They're trying to run air superiority, and they didn't get it. Let's put it that way. They're losing a lot of planes, 105 to 20. So our fighters are putting up the good fight here through day 7. Maybe they'll kind of give up on that. I've also wondered, and I'm going to ask you guys, some of you guys have been playing the game and maybe have tried different things that I haven't tried in this Let's Play because I've really been trying to focus on the Let's Play and I haven't been testing a lot like I usually would do. How are air superiority missions doing? Right? I've stopped doing recon altogether because the recon missions were just getting absolutely chewed up. Um, how are air superiority missions doing? I just don't know. I haven't tested air superiority, and I was thinking maybe I should start running some air superiority because we've got better fighters. Now we're going through our fighters, we're really chewing through the fighters, but we've got a lot. Or, I mean, they're better than the Soviet fighters. So I'm just kind of curious. Okay, we're looking at the center here. We're up to AI turn 27%, which means this is when they would do their counterattacks. I've got this on a message level 3. I'm trying to back up. I wish you could do that as it's resolving the turn, just to see if we're missing anything. I'm just curious whether they start counterattacking this turn. This would traditionally when they start trying to shoot gaps, counterattack, get in between us in certain places. I'm kind of curious to see if they'll do that this turn. So anyway, air superiority missions. I'm very, very curious what your guys' take has been on that, if you've tried it. Oh, I don't know if they counterattacked anywhere. We didn't see any battles. I'll tell you that much. I'm going to go down to message level 2 as the Soviets do their freight drops. Oh, they're dropping to, I guess this would be East Kiev. They're dropping some supply there. I've been wondering exactly how to structure Sixth Army there, how to go around Kiev the way I used to. I don't know. I mean, it's a new game. I just haven't tried to do it yet, so we'll see. Sixth Army can really get bogged down with all the Soviet stuff behind Kiev. So you take Kiev, you make that big sigh of relief, and then all of a sudden you spend 3 turns trying to get out of Kiev into the countryside. And I really want to go try to get Kharkov and Kursk. Now I don't know how much I'll use Sixth Army to do that. Maybe a Second Army operation, but we'll see. All right, here comes all of our logistics as we're now into the logistics phase, 61%. I'm really curious to see what kind of movement points we're going to have left in the south. You just come to a point in the south that you either slow down for a few turns or you stop altogether and wait. And we got to get that rail out there as fast as we can. I'm actually tempted to take one of those railroad units when we get to Pskov, rail it down to the south, and try to start building even more. Okay, so now here we go. We're into the air planning phase. All right, let's go look at breaking news. Whoa, I don't like the looks of that. Axis ground setback in North Africa. Shortage of Axis forces leads to a setback in North Africa. North African campaign events are moved forward. Italian campaign events are moved forward. Okay, I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. The AI is running the theater boxes. Look, no matter what you do, pretty much, unless you're just stuffing that North Africa box up to like 200% of what you need, nothing is going to stop the Allies from taking North Africa and eventually taking Italy. It's just all a matter of how fast it happens, right? And so these events, even if you're at 100% in the North Africa theater box, it's not like you're fighting them to a standstill or you're going to win that war and Rommel is going to, have his own triumph through Berlin or something. This is all still going to happen. It's just a matter of speed. right? And so when you look at this, you may say, gosh darn it, AI, come on, pick it up. But the AI very well may have enough in North Africa to keep it kind of going historical. Um, but it just doesn't matter. The Allies won in North Africa. It would be really strange if they don't win in War in the East too. It's just being abstracted. Just always keep that in mind. Soviet partisans. Partisans become active throughout much of the Axis-occupied territory of the Soviet Union. Partisan attacks intensity 1 or 2 in many USSR regions. And if we go out here, you see all the little red stars that are interdicting movement through that hex, whether it be units or freight, it's going to interdict. I've noticed that they really do bunch up, around railways for the most part. Now, I had thought before, looking at the map and really kind of checking it out, that for the most part, for the most part, you don't see a lot of them in the same hex as where you have a unit, but that's not always true. Now, I would be curious. Now, this is a headquarters unit. I'm sure there's a section of the rule book, and I read it once and now I've forgotten. I'm not sure if partisans can be in a hex with a combat unit. Well, here's my answer. Yes, they can be. Yes, they can be. Now, I'm not sure if it lessens the partisan activity in that hex, but I'm guessing maybe not, since we have the garrison box. And again, so the AI has this stocked up to 85%, but this maybe went up this turn. And so, it could very well have been around 100%. Partisan activity is going to happen no matter how much stuff is in the garrison box. It's just a matter of the degree, right? It's all a matter of the degree. Okay, so theater boxes. We will be getting into that in the tutorial soon. That I've actually been reading and rereading that section just to make sure I have it all straight in my mind. Um, Okay, I think you should run a recon mission around the Minsk Bulge. And I assume you're talking panzers here. Uh, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Like right down here. Well, I'm actually going to do something a little different this time. I was looking at the map. I'm going to break one of these into regiments, or a third of a division if you prefer, and I'm going to run them up here by this rail line because I can't have this next to my rail line anyway. So, for this rail to come down here, um, for units to get down this. Now, my understanding is freights can still get down this if you're next to it, although I've noticed that it really seems to disrupt freight. But that's a discussion for another time. The point is, I'm going to break this into regiments and bring a couple of them back up here and put one of them like here, because the Soviets do have some active forces out here. And so I'm going to go check that. I'm going to go check that out. Yeah, well received. Well received, sir. Bravo. I agree with you. I agree with you. We got to check that out, because if they were to get towards Minsk, that could be an absolute disaster. The Soviets retake Minsk. What? Uh, yes, he is suggesting air recon, but there's no reason to do air recon if I'm going to move units back there. Anyway, I'm going to, regardless of what the air recon tells me, I'm going to move those units back there because I have to clear the hexes next to the rail. And so in this game, there are no surprise. There's no surprise. Speaking of John Tiller, we were talking about John Tiller before. In his games, if you move into a hex next to an enemy hex that you've not discovered previously, or you don't have any detection on, it gets an opportunity fire against you. In this game, that's not the case. You discover them, you get up next to them and you say, oh, hey, there's a unit there. So I find recon less useful in these games than I would in a John Tiller game. Because in John Tiller, like I said, you get opportunity, or the defender, if it's not been discovered before, gets opportunity fire against you. Just a free shot. They just get a free shot at you because they surprised you. I actually think that maybe Grigsby should add that. I think it adds. I like recon. I like to have to do recon because I think it's realistic. Well, you don't really have to do much recon here. You move your units around, they discover things. Oh, good. They didn't break through here. I guess we should go look around the map. Where did the Soviets go? They have dropped back behind the Narva for the most part, I would imagine. It looks like they've completely abandoned coming back towards Pskov. I love it. I love it. This is what I thought they would do. And I'm going to do something in the north and the center, I believe, because I thought the AI was looking this way. I'm going to do something in the north and the center this time. I don't want to call it a trick. It's just something I do, or at least did in the first game. We'll see how it works here. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I do like how this is all lining up now. So they've all just, I told you last time, it's like the home alarm is going off at Novgorod, right? And so they have brought everything over here to Novgorod. But that's actually a good thing. That's a good thing. We're getting them off balance here. So they're all over here for the most part. Now, I know that they do have some stuff out here. No reason to tell me that in the comments. I understand we don't have perfect recon out here. That being said, the vast weight of all of their units has moved over here to Novgorod. That's good. And in the center, the vast weight of their units will have moved north up here to protect Vyazma. We're going to reverse out of here and go back our original direction. Same here. We're going to reverse out of here and come up this way. The reason is if you really think about it, what do your panzers have that no other units have on the ground? You know, what do your motorized have? They've got 50 movement points. All infantry have 16. So if you move the infantry back and forth, they can't keep up with you, right? You can move 2.5 to 3 times as much as they can every turn. And so when you get them, it's like rocking the boat. When you get them over to one side, if you go back around the other, they can't catch up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they do tactically. They don't have enough movement points to guard against that. So once they commit themselves to one side or the other, um, go back the other way. Wait until you see it in action. We'll see how we do it this turn. That'll be in episode 43. We've got to move some air units. Kalo, I know it's up to 2.86, right? There were like 100 people that signed up yesterday. Uh, oh, is that right, Ole? Ole with the good information. Again, let me just tell you one more time. If you're not on the War in the East 2 Facebook page, Ole is, I believe, the person that set that up. Or if not, is definitely one of the main contributors there. Go check it out. There's all kinds of stuff there. Screenshots, questions, answers, whatever. It's a good page. Yes, there were like 100 people that signed up for the channel yesterday. Thank you, Kalo, for keeping tabs on that. Channel's really growing leaps and bounds. It's great. It's great. I'm glad people enjoy these games. Oh, that reminds me, if you haven't watched the Warplan Pacific videos, what the hell's wrong with you? It's a good game. It's a good game. I'm not far enough into it to say it's a great game, but I really like it so far. And I'm not far enough into it to say the AI is really good, but it's going to be a good game against another human for sure. We'll see about the AI. The AI is whipping my butt right now. So if you want to see me get my butt kicked a little bit, I've got it on a high difficulty level. And that AI, that Japanese AI is scripted so well. Like the first 4 or 5 turns, I've lost like Rangoon, I've lost Singapore, I've lost all of Java. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So it's kind of fun. I like the challenge. We'll see how the AI does once the script is over, the straight up script, right? That's always the test. We'll see. It's a good game though, and I think you guys would like it. If you like board games like World in Flames or Advance of the Third Reich or something like that, it's that on the computer. It's got pretty graphics. I like it. It looks like a board game. They look like clip counters out there. Okay, let's look at the air really fast. We know our directives. We're going to take that naval patrol off. I wish one of you guys would pipe up about air superiority. I'm very tempted to run an air superiority directive, but I'm not going to do it until somebody tells me it's worthwhile. Do we need to move anything in the north? Well, we've got our recon here. We've got our bombers there. I may just give them a turn to kind of get the support up here. I feel like the reason I'm losing, and look, we're doing fine in the air. We've got plenty of aircraft, but part of the reason that we're losing what we're losing is I'm moving them up so aggressively that they're taking a lot of operational losses because they don't have support. And I'm not talking support units. I'm talking support elements, air support. Um, and so I just may leave these alone for a turn. Just let them sit here a little bit. Fliegerführer Aussie is here. I could move it up here and get it ready to go. This is the interdiction area I was talking about. Um, I've still got some PTSD from what happened down in Odessa when we lost all of our interdiction because I moved that unit away from, that AOG. I should call him an AOG. I moved him away for one turn and we lost all of our interdiction, which I guess makes sense, right? I mean, that's kind of how interdiction works, buddy. If you don't have the interdictors, you're not doing much interdiction. Let's go ahead and move these guys up here to Talon. This is a level 2 airfield and we'll just let them sit here for a couple of turns. We'll let them rest up. Uh, I do not really understand, and I say this with full knowledge that you guys are, some of you are going to roast me in the comments, but I really don't understand why this AOG is so good at interdiction, right? I mean, I don't really understand it. They've got recon planes. They've got like 29 recon planes. Okay. I mean, they're German Strat Recon. We've got these in other units. It's not like they're some kind of special plane. And then they've got these bombers. They're level bombers. They're Ju-88As. Now our Luftwaffe has been doing a lot of damage. It takes a lot of operational losses, but it's completely overwhelming the Soviet Air Force when it gets in the air. That being said, why are these guys so good at interdiction? I mean, I know that that's what the unit is for. I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments because it doesn't necessarily. I know that there's got to be a reason for it. And yes, I know that I've been told anyway that Fliegerführer Aussie that this is what they did was naval interdiction. So you would expect them to be better, but these guys are like Superman on interdiction. I'm just not getting something, and maybe it's very obvious, and I'm just a little slow, as you've noticed if you've watched these videos. they he that kid was in a special class. KG1, KG77, JG54, KG70. That's all looks good, right? Do we need to move any of these guys? We got our call offs. I'm still not gonna. Do you guys really want me to run recon out here? I'm not going to have, no, I'm not going to have these shot down. Not yet. They'll get shot down later. Don't worry. We're not going to do it doing that. Call off 2, KG2. Yeah, that's another reason I'm bringing units back. I wouldn't want one of these to shoot out here and like disrupt planes on the airfield and scatter them. Um, oh, by the way, the movement points look pretty decent out here, right? Uh, do they? 33. Well, that doesn't look so great. That doesn't look so great. We got to get these guys pulled back here, but that's fine. I mean, we've got some that do have enough units to make a break. This is where I'm going to try to do my breakthrough. Now, you may say you already broke through. It's probably a beehive out here, I would imagine. I would imagine Rezhev is very heavily defended, and now I've got my forward units with not that. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. It always depends what's happening on the ground. JG20. I'm mainly just looking at my fighters. If we go to JG27 and we put our ring circles on, I just want to make sure that they can hit up here, and at least some of their aircraft can. Well, all of 8 aircraft can. There's only 19 left in JG-27. I was just sitting here saying, oh, we got some fighters. How many left here? 72. Okay. Ring circles on. Yeah, we got some that can get out here. If you go up here, you can see exactly how many are in that range. 55. Wow, what's this? These must be fighter bomber. Yeah, they are. 109Fs or fighter bombers. They can get way out there. Okay, I'm glad we've got. I mean, we really need JG-27. Let's put that. Uh, I'm going to think about that a little bit. We probably need some. Oh, that reminds me. That reminds me. Let's go to Mogilev. We got the airbase here at Mogilev. Let's do one that's green. Do we even have an airbase that's green? That's a great question. Oh, we do at Orsha. Okay, let's go to Orsha. Let's go to the airfield. Why is he doing this, you ask? Uh, whoops, gosh darn it, don't do that thing. Man, that thing gets angry if you just push on something and it doesn't like it at all. I want to click on that. There we go. Bring AOG in from the reserve. We were talking about this last time and I was misinformed, which means I was wrong. That's how you blame it on someone else. I was misinformed by someone else, I guess. We can bring AOGs in from the reserve. The Italian fighter group, the bomber group, bomb flotilla, we've got some in the reserve that we will be bringing into the south. Now, KG4, KG48, or whatever that is, let's go to the reserve box and let's take a look at these. Now, this is the unit I want to get here, but these are the Croats. I've got that one unit now training to be fighters. These already are fighters, and they've got good experience. Yeah, this is the unit I want. 109F2. Okay, it's JG52. Oh, it is part of JG, or it's supposed to be part of JG52. Interesting. Okay, I want to draw that down. Then we also got these level bombers out here that we can pull down as well. KG4, KG28. Does this go along with? Let's go look for JG52. Can you only pull those to J? No, I guess not, because you can move your AGs around, right? Or AGs. AOGs. JG52. Where are you? Isn't that the one in the north? I feel like it is. No, JG54. Let's get it. Okay. I'm just wondering if they're already ready. Yeah, there's JG52. So do I need to bring those fighters down here? I'm sure. Well, I could reassign them, right? You can always reassign their command, but this has got 27 planes. Okay, let's go ahead and do that then. Let's just, I don't know. Is this already overstacked? Let's look at the airbase. Hold the phone. The Slovak Expeditionary Air Brigade. Well, that's not going to tell it to us. Let's go to Luftwaffe. Whoa, get the ring circles off, my friend. This is Borodianka. All right, there it is. Oh, it's only at 13%. Okay, so now then. Now see, we can't like pull them from here. It's just so odd to me. So you have to go down to the hex. Build depot, bring AOG. Okay. Was it KG20? Now I can't remember. KG28? No, because these are not fighters. Bring air groups from reserve? Oh, select all. Why can I not bring any in? Is that because I've got the game doing that for me? Well, why can I bring these other ones in then? Bring AOG in. These are bombers, though. Where is that JG? We just saw it. So is this different? JG52. Now, there's no way to assign it here. When you're in the reserve, I have looked everywhere. There's no way to do it. You can't put it in anything. You can disband it. You can give it some orders, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to figure that out before the next episode. But I am going to do one other thing here. I'm going to go to JG52. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not. All right. You just saw my hamster running at full speed there. Uh, how's the war going? JG52 fought in the South. You were correct about that, Erzbeck. The war's going fine. The war's going fine. The finding out how, I should have just had that dang reserve boxes under my control from the start. I'm a puppet master. I've got to have control. That's why I don't like to fly. It's like why I have to drive the car. That's why I love these games. Yeah. Maybe I need to be medicated for that. Who knows? Maybe it's a good thing. Anyway, am going to come back next time and I will have that figured out. If there's any way I can get those fighter units out there, I'm going to try it. Look in the reinforcement screen. Well, okay. Let's do that. Now here comes some information. Right. So we got to bring up the turn screen and we'll just go over to reinforcements that way. And we'll go to the air groups. Right, but it's in Axis Reserves. Did it just come in this turn? Oh, it's not going to come in till turn 10. Why is it showing in there then, right? Isn't that the same one that's in? Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna go figure all of this out because I have to do a tutorial on reserve on theater boxes soon, including the reserve one, and so I will get this all straight in my head before that happens because I know a lot of people are very curious about those theater boxes. Uh, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. We covered a lot of stuff today, and I really like it. I really like it. Thank you guys so much. And again, thank you so much for all the support. We are steaming towards 3,000 subs. We'll probably be there in a week at this point. 50,000's the goal by the end of this year. That's the goal. When I started this thing, I told my wife, I said, I don't know. If 100 people sit around and watch this, cool. So we're above that. I've already exceeded. That's why I like to set the bar low, guys. You'll always exceed expectations. Have a good one. Strategy Gaming Dojo out.